Alright guys, so far we have learned a lot of things. We are almost there where we can build any kind of layouts with perfect designs. We have learned to position our content on a page in any imaginable way. Now it's time to pay our attention to how we can beautify our page, how we can represent our content in a more better way so that it should be more digestible. So let's talk about text or typography. It is true that 95% of the information on the web are in textual form. Knowing how to represent text in the best way on a page is really a great challenge. Let's see some of the properties related to typography. Let's learn how we can make the text more readable on a page. Because at the end, our users are going to read the texts. And text are the core content of any web page most of the time. So let's dive into the typography world. In the typography world, there are two basic terms, that is typeface and font. Some of you may be familiar with these two terms or maybe not. So let's understand what is typeface or font. The typeface and font are often interchanged and confusing, but these two terms are traditionally different. Typeface, it's the design of collection of glyphs, for example letters, numbers or symbols. A typeface is what we see, how the text looks, feels and reads. For example, right now whatever the text we see on the screen is the typeface. On the other hand, we have the font. Font is the file that contains typeface, or a specific size, weight or style of a typeface is defined inside the font. For example, regular, bold or italic. These all information are stored inside the font, that is the file. To make it more clear, we can relate the typeface and font with two other terms, that is song and MP3. A song that we listen and feel, but the MP3 is the file where songs are stored. In a similar way, font is the file where the information of the typography is stored. Alright, now let's see what are the things that we can do with the text. Let's see how we can embed wave font. In the past, we were limited to a small number of typefaces that we could use for a website. The font installed on the computer was only available on the website, but now we can embed any font based on our choices. So now we have the ability to upload the fonts on the server and then include on a website using add font face rule. To embed font, there are other two ways also. For example, we can link any font family inside the head element or import any font family inside the CSS file. So these are the three different ways for embedding fonts. Let's see the very first way, that is add font face rule. The CSS add font face rule includes font family and SRC property. The font family property identifies the font's name and the SRC determines the source of the file of the font family. Thereafter, we can use the font family property on any elements. Alright, so let's take one example how actually we can embed font using add font face. Okay, right now on our page we have an article tag that is having one heading element, that is h1 tag, and few paragraphs, and we have one h2 tag also. And inside the CSS file we have just normal style to our body with font size, background color and padding. So let's see how it looks. The page looks something like this. Now we will see how actually we can embed any font using add font face rule. So for that purpose we need some font family. So let's go to fonts.google.com. Let's download some font family first. Okay, let's say Open Sans. Let's download this. So here we have one option to download the font family. So right now I'm downloading this font on my desktop. Save it. Let's go to desktop here. So here we have our that zip file. So let's unzip it. So this is the folder here, and inside this folder we have different font file. So they are, this is the license text for the font family. These are the files. That's the font. Bold, bold italic, extra bold italic, italic, open sans, light, light italic, regular, semi bold, semi bold italic. So these are the different font weight of that particular font family, that is open sans. So we will learn how actually we can embed these font family. So first of all, let's grab all these file from here, and we will keep this file inside our project folder. So here, this is the project folder, that is Web Typography. Inside this, let's create a folder with font here, and inside this folder let's keep all those files. Here we have all those files. So now we will use this file in our code. So let's go to our code here. Here we have, so to make use of all those font, we have the rule, that is add font face rule. So let's apply that, add font face, and inside curly braces we will define the information. So let's keep the font family name here, and let's say, so right now let's see how many weights do we have here. So we have different weights. Let's use two weight for now. I'm using one regular and another is bold here, that is open sans bold.ttf. So let's keep open sans and regular. Actually, here inside the font family we can define any name according to our choice, but as the font family is open sans, so I am going with the open sans regular. Let's define the source property. Inside the source property we define the path of that file. So these are the path of this file. So let's define, so URL, inside the URL let's say font, because our all these font files are inside the font folder. So let's go inside the font folder first, and then let's use open sans regular first. This is the regular. Nice. Now let's take one more weight, that is add font face. So we will define another font family name. So this time we will be having same font family, but with another way, that is, let's take bold. So let's say it bold here, and let's define the path of the file. Let's go inside the font and then open sans bold here. Alright, now save it. Right now we are using open sans font family with regular and bold in our code. So right now let's check out our page here. There's no difference here. So actually we haven't applied this font family in our any element here yet. So let's target our, let's say how many, here we have h1 and h2. So let's target our h1 and h2. Let's define the font family, that is we have bold here. So open sans bold, and then thereafter for the paragraph we can say font family open sans regular. Now save our file, then let's go to our page here. Now give it a refresh here. As we can see, the font family of our page is changed now. Now our font family is, for this, for our heading elements we have open sans bold, and for the paragraph we have our open sans regular. We can inspect this. Let's see whether we have got exact font family that we have applied. So as we can see, for the h1 and h2 we have open sans bold. Inside the computed also we can find that font family, that is open sans bold. Let's check out our paragraph here. Let's see what is the font family. See, open sans regular, and for the computed also open sans regular. So this is the one of the way, that is add font face rule to apply font family. In this approach we have to download any font family and then keep it inside the project folder, and after that, using add font face rule we can define the font family name and source of the file, and thereafter we can apply all those font family inside our page. Now let's see other ways also. Another way of embedding wave fonts is using link tag inside the head element. So we are using this approach from the beginning only. So let's see once again how we can make use of this approach. So let's go to our fonts.google.com here. So let's use this time different font family. So we have used this Open Sans. Let's see which we can use. This time let's go with the Noto Sans. So this time we are going to use link tag inside our head element. So for that purpose, let's select few font family. So we are having regular and bold. So these two weights are here. So let's go to embed here, and inside we can see we have a link tag. So let's copy that link tag. Let's go inside the index.html. Inside this, inside the head element, actually let's define the font family. Let's paste that link tag which we have taken from here. Now as we have connected this font family, that is Noto Sans, with weight 400 and 700, now we can make use this font family inside our CSS file. So what we can do, actually let's get rid of this font face rule. We have already seen this. Now we are going to see that link tag. So let's first of all refresh our page here. We are back to normal here. So now let's apply that font family. So font family, let's see here. This is the properties and values that we can use inside the CSS rule. As we can see, this is the CSS rules to specify families. Here, to embed a font, copy the code into the head of your HTML. That means this will go inside the head element, and then this we will be defining inside the CSS file. So let's copy this information and then paste it inside our body tag here. That means inside the curly braces of the body. Now save it and give it a refresh our page. As we can see right now, we are having font family. Let's see Noto Sans that we have grabbed from the fonts.google.com. So here let's check it out. Let's go to computate font family Noto Sans, and for the paragraph also font family Noto Sans. So this is the second way to embed font family. The second way is that link tag, using link tag inside the head element, and then inside the CSS file we define the CSS rules for the font family. So right now we are using just one font family on our page. Actually we can embed 2, 3, 4 or whatever the number of font family you want to use in your page. So let's grab one more font family in our page. So let's go to fonts.google.com here, Noto Sans we are using. So let's take one more font family. This time let's see, let's go with the which one, let's go with the Roboto slab. So now let's grab a few weight also, regular and bold. So right now as we can see inside our here link tag, we are using Noto Sans here with the weight 400 and 700, and Roboto slab with weight 400 and 700. So now let's copy this, go to our index.html inside the head element. Now we can replace this link with the link which we have copied just now. So here we have Noto Sans and Roboto slab. Now we are having two font family connected to our index.html. Now we can make use of these two font family. So let's go to our style.css here. Inside style.css we are already using one font family, that is Noto Sans, inside our bodies. So each and every element will be inheriting this font family Noto Sans. Now for H1 and H2, let's define another font family that we have just embedded, that is Roboto Slab. So let's copy that information also from here and paste it here. Now save it, go to our page here and give it a refresh. As we can see, for the H1 and H2 we are having now another font family, that is Roboto Slab. Here we have Roboto Slab. Alright, so this was the second approach to embed font family. There is third approach also to embed font family to our page. So this approach is a little different from the previous one that we have seen, that link tag. Actually in this approach, instead of using link tag, we will be using import rule inside our CSS file. So let's see here. So if we go to our fonts.google.com, here we see the link tag. So this, to embed a font, copy the code into the head of your HTML. So there is import rule also. If we click here, as we can see, this is the import rule. So this import rule will be coming inside our CSS file. So instead of copying the link tag, we can copy this import rule. So let's go to our style.css. Now we can get rid of this link tag from here, and we will be keeping our import rule inside our CSS file. So let's keep it at the top, paste it here. So as we can see, we are now having import rule inside our CSS. So the way we have used this font family earlier also, the similarly we will be using the same thing. The difference is just that we are using now import rule inside our CSS file. Now save it. So let's go to our page here and then give it a refresh. No changes, is just because we are using the same font family. Alright guys, so as we have learned how to embed any font family, we have seen three different approaches. First was add font face rule, second was link tag, and third was import rule. Now let's see how we can change the color of the text. Actually we are using this thing from the beginning only. We know how to change the color of any text. So let's see once more here. So for, let's change the color for the H1 and H2. Let's say color, I'm using crimson here. Then for the paragraph, let's say color anything, maybe aquamarine would be for fine. Save it and then give it a refresh here. Alright, so this is our page. Actually let's change the color of paragraph here. It is not much clear, so here we, it will be darker here. Yeah, this looks fine. So let's copy the code, paste it here, save it, collapse this, and then give it a face. Alright, so this is how we can change the color of any text.